you guys will be able to watch it again. People aren't tuning in yet, but guys, my name is Bailey Murphy, and this is gonna be my point for sparring seminar. Alex is gonna be mad at me because I already messed up and forgot to put a description. Now I think about it. And what we're gonna be doing today is we're gonna be doing a lot of hands, because I think of myself as a hands person, but we're gonna be showing how we could set up our feet with our hands once we establish our hands. Okay, so for those of you that have wave masters or something to punch, we're gonna start off. We're not gonna go into a warm up. We're just gonna get started. I'm gonna put my gloves on. So what we're gonna do is work on a basic back fist body punch, which is my favorite technique. I like using my front hand first because I'm a fast fighter and have longer arms for my size, which allows me to throw my back fist quicker than my body punch. So we're just gonna start off and work on how I throw my back fist body punch. Okay? So from here, back fist body punch. Okay? So when we do this, we're diving and landing on our front leg. I'm a right leg fighter. So I'm here, back fist body punch. Alright? Back fist body punch. So that's the full technique. What we're gonna do is break it down into pieces. We're gonna start off here and just dive and throw the back fist. So bounce, dive, back fist, come back. I'm leaning, diving, I'm putting all my weight on my front leg, diving and landing on the same leg. Now what we're gonna do is just throw the body punch, okay? So this is not a technique I teach, but for breaking it down, it makes sense. We're just gonna dive and throw the body punch. Okay, for a regular body punch back fist, I'll never dive, but for right now, as we're breaking it down, I'm just showing you guys how we're gonna break it down and dive, because when we're doing this technique all out, in the back fist and the body punch, we're going to be throwing the back fist and the body punch normally before we land again, okay? So we're diving, we're going to be throwing the back fist and the body punch before I land, before I land in general. So come here. That's all we're going to do right now, just breaking it down. I'm putting my hand out because that's where it would go after I throw the back fist if we were doing the technique all out. Now we're going to put it all together, okay? So the whole purpose of that was not really to focus on the hands, but to focus on the correct and proper footwork for doing this drill. So now we're going to do the back and the body punch. Good. So I'm going to get into it now. I'm not going to waste time because I don't have a lot of time. So what we're going to do now is work on a fake and follow with our back fist and our body punch. Okay? So we're going to fake and take off, and then after we're going to fake and retreat. So fake, take off. Okay? Not only am I faking to get a reaction from my opponent, but I'm faking to close the distance. Look how far I am away from my wave master right now. As soon as I take that step, I'm already here. And you gotta remember, you guys might be thinking, yeah, Bailey, but you're just using a wave master right now, so you're too close. You gotta remember, when we're doing this, we're gonna get a reaction. If we don't get a reaction, they're acting like a wave master and you're just staying still. That's an even easier point for us. Okay? So fake. And I feel like it's a misconception with fakes. A lot of people, they'll throw fakes low. When I throw my fakes, I'm throwing my fakes shoulder length, right? So I'm coming here, it's coming right out. I'm not throwing it here, I'm not throwing a low fake, I'm coming right out. So I can just roll my wrist. So I'm faking, rolling my wrist and throwing my back into my body punch. when I'm faking, it's only my front leg coming out, my back leg is staying as stationary as possible. If it moves a little bit, it's not intentionally. I'm really just putting my front leg out while it's going out my front arm, right? So fake, boom, boom. Ha, boom, ha. Now, I'm not going to get into it too much right now or do it, but with fakes, you can vary the speeds. So if I do a fast fake, depending on if I'm fighting on a faster fighter that have a quicker reaction time, I'll fake hard, and take off right after. Or sometimes if the fight is slowing down, give a hard fake, I'll pause. Okay, because that's what point fighting is all about. People start dissecting and reading our rhythm. The whole fight I'm faking hard and taking off right away. I'm gonna start to break the rhythm. The whole fight I'll come here. Next time I fake, and I just go again, next time I fake, I'm gonna fake. They say they reacted to it, after, then I'll fall. Okay, so that's what we're gonna kind of get into right now. We're gonna fake, retreat, and then we're gonna take off with our back fist and our body punch. Alright? So, this technique could be for breaking up rhythm, or say the reaction to my fake this time was a kick. So I'm gonna fake. Say a kick, retreat, take off backwards body punch. If I'm a single leg kick, I'm gonna take off. If it's not a single leg kick, that's okay. We don't have to follow every single time. We're just gonna move, right? And now, if I'm trying to break the rhythm, say I fake at them, they do something kind of funny, like they lift their leg up. I don't know if they're coming forward, if they're going back, doesn't matter. I'm gonna be safe, retreat, say they did come forward, back to body punch, right? I'm closing the space, now I'm bringing it back. I'm getting all that space back, right? So if I call this fake, retreat, back fist body punch. Good. So now what we're gonna do here, just like the fake that we're doing, we're gonna do a hard fake. Okay, we're gonna do a hard fake. We're gonna do that retreat step that we just did. We're gonna do 2 choppy fakes. Okay, the 2 choppy fakes are gonna equal the same amount of distance that the 1 hard fake does. So a hard fake, ha. Okay, I come back. The last, I'm gonna do 2 choppy fakes that cover the same amount of distance that I covered with that 1 fake. So I'm gonna come here. Hard fake, retreat, choppy, choppy. It's in the same exact place. Okay? My last fake of my choppy fake set is in the same exact place as my 1 hard fake. Okay? So hard fake, retreat, choppy, choppy is in the same exact place. Okay? And the reason I do this is how I set up my stepping. Okay? So if I'm getting a good reaction, if I hard fake, I get a good reaction, say they come forward with a kick, that's the most beautiful thing. That's what I want. Because I know that's how they're going to react from now on. So I fake, they kick, I come back, they're landing in front of me, or if they do multiple kicks, I'm just going to move or stay in the pocket if I'm really looking to step in. Or throw that singular kick. If I fake, they lift that leg up, I fake again, I get inside of their zone. I'm inside of their zone. They can't kick me if I'm that close. That sounds crazy, but I'm too close for them to kick me. Right? I'm too close in their zone, so that allows me to throw my back fist. I step in back fist. I'm giving them a hard fake, I retreat. That kick drops in front of me, I'm throwing a fake, I'm getting the reaction. They're 2 fast, choppy fakes where I'm getting them to kick at me, and I'm stepping in and throwing that back fist. Right? So it looks like this all good. Ha! 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 Good. So from here, now our fake is another entrance to us throwing our back fist and our body punch, right? So what we're gonna do now is we're just gonna do a forward hop. So on our fake, when we're doing our fake, only our front leg is moving forward, our back leg is staying stationary. So now on this next entry type of technique, both of our feet are gonna move forward, then we're gonna take off. So on a fake, look how much distance I'm closing. Fake, right? Fake, right? So now on this next thing, I'm hopping both of my feet forward. Okay, I'm getting even closer. You guys have to remember that from this position, we're expecting a reaction. That's whether our opponent goes backwards, they go to the side, or if they come forward, it's a clash, right? We want to get that technique off. So with this, it's going to be like skipping a rock. Okay, when we skip a rock, it's skimming the ground and getting to the next area of water, right? So that's kind of how we want to be like. We want to skip our mat. Want to come here, boom. Okay, we're constantly moving. We don't want to. Sometimes we don't want to be like a bad rock where you're trying to skip it. It just pops in the water. That's not what we want to be. We don't want to land here. We don't want to land hard. We want to hop and go. Okay, hop and go. It has to be fast. So hop, boom, boom. I'm skimming the water. I'm not landing too hard. I'm not landing too soft. I'm wearing I'm going down just enough that I can skip and go to the next technique, right? Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, and from this position, what we're doing is we're making sure we can go forward off of it, but if we really had to, if we felt someone pose a threat, we came in, we hopped, say they came forward, we could be quick enough to shift our momentum and throw out that defensive side kick, or hop, and dig down and throw that stationary defensive body punch, whatever you like to call it. And then one more, come here, hop, skip the other way and throw our defensive back fist, right? But for right now, what we're gonna skip, I don't know what to call it, but we're gonna take that hop forward and take off back fist body punch. Don't want to do anything in a point fighting match more than 3 times, so we have to constantly change it, right? So if I'm fighting and they say fight, I take off and throw my back body punch. They say fight, I take off and throw my back body punch. That second time I throw the back body punch, it's not going to be as easy to score as the second time, right? They say fight, I take off and throw the back body punch, I get hit with a D side, right? And that's not what we're looking for. We want to be able to constantly change it. So if they say fight and I take off, score, back to body punch, that's good. Now I'm going to step off the line, throw back to body punch. Off the line the other way, throw body punch back to, right? So what we're doing with this, I remember my first time at Mr. Tension's camp, TCK winter camp. What he said was, it doesn't matter about the destination of meaning your technique, it's how you get there. It's the route that we take, right? So my route, I can come here, fake, retreat, body punch, back fist. Fake, front cut, back fist, body punch, right? So the most important thing is doing different angles, different fakes, all the stuff that leads up to the technique. I can beat somebody with just my back fist. That sounds impressive, but what's more impressive is that I did it 7 different ways. You know what I mean? I'm not doing it just linear. I'm doing it side to side, back, front. I'm doing a whole bunch of different things that lead up to that technique, right? So that's what we're really going over with this hop and all this other stuff, right? Okay. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna change it up a little bit. So I worked on my back fist a lot already. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna take an angle because earlier what we did, we worked back and front. We worked linear for our back body punch. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna step off the line and take off and work it for our body punch, right? So I'm a right leg fighter. I'm gonna step to the left of my wave master, if you have one. So I'm gonna do back cut, and now I'm gonna do a front hop, right? I'm gonna do a front hop, take off, body punch backwards. So I look like this. I'm gonna fake, back cut, front hop, body punch backwards. thing like I said before, we want to be, it's almost as if we're skipping a rock. As soon as we touch that one surface of water, we're taking off to the next surface of water. So fake, back cut, as soon as my right foot touches on my back cut, I'm going to do a front hop. That's what I call a front hop. As soon as I land in the front hop, my knees are going to come down in a bended position, because on a bended position, we like to be in a bended position for body punch so we can drive easier. Take that hop, my knees are here, boom, boom. So I can take off faster and stronger. So, fake. Good. So now we're working on the angle. Then we're doing a hop back to the other side, and taking off with our body punch and our back. We're gonna do the same exact thing, but going towards our back side with the hop. So I'm gonna fake, do a front cut, back hop, bend my knees, take off, body punch, practice. Okay, good. Just like the Backfist, what we did, we just established our movement. Just like my Backfist, I established my movement. So after we establish movement, we can do the same thing. We can fake. If I establish my Backfist, I can fake that hand, because that's something somebody has to worry about the whole fight. If I score 4 Backfists on you, someone's going to believe, oh yeah, for the 5th point, you're going to try to score Backfist, right? So, same thing, if I'm moving, and every single time I do a front cut, and I take off, you're going to know. You have to stop him from cutting from that front side. So what we're going to start to do is fake our movement, all right? So something I do very, very often when I fight is I fake front cuts. So if I'm here, I'm going to step my back leg out as if I'm going to the front side. If I come back in, take off, body punch back. Okay? So I'll come here. Ha! Oh, oh. Stepping that front leg out, bringing that stepping that back leg out, bringing that back leg in, stepping out, body punch back. So the whole thing I'm doing with this, like I said, is fake. I fight a lot of right lead fighters. So if I'm fighting a right lead kicker, say I'm fighting a really good right lead kicker, I step here. I'm getting them to commit this way with their kick, coming back in, body punch back. Okay? Even if they don't commit very hard, or they do commit hard, but they're, like I said, they're a great kicker, they may not drop that leg down. They may be able to come here and turn, but while I'm fast enough, and you have to be fast enough and trust yourself enough that during that split second where they're turning, you have to toughen up and be able to take that chamber to the stomach and stick that body punch back fist, right? So here, ha, boom, boom. Okay, I'm stepping out, getting on the kick, here, body punch back fist. This is also another way I set up my step in back fist. Say they get close, like we're in a close position. I'm here. By the time they lift out, they turn, or if they lift the leg up again, I'm stepping on my back fist. Okay. It's I'm fast, but what I really do is I make people put themselves in bad positions, which makes me look faster. I have very good timing and I have very good spacing and footwork. That's what allows me to score a lot of my points. Okay? So if I'm here, boom, I get them the kick, I'm coming back, I'm coming off the side, throwing that back fist, or I'm going through them and throwing that body punch back fist. You know what I mean? Alright. Boom. Boom, boom. 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 Ha. 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 Good. So, just like with it, like I said, we were able to establish us cutting angles. Once we establish cutting angles, that they start to see that trend. Okay, he's scoring a lot of points after he cuts that angle and takes off. So now I have to be prepared for that. Once they get prepared for that, we're constantly staying one step ahead of them, and now we're changing our route. Okay, we're changing the thing that we do to get to our destination, which is getting a point. Right? So now, just like everything, people are going to catch on to a lot of things. So now something that I do a lot, that a lot of elite point fighters kind of do now, is drop. So point fighters, for whatever reason, if you watch any point fight match, when the fight starts off, most of them, they tend to fight on the same rhythm. They bounce at the same pace. Okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to stop that. We're going to change that rhythm. Okay? We're going to break the rhythm. I'm going to be bouncing on a different pace than them, which leads for me to go forward with an easy technique. For here, it's hard to see kind of on a partner. If I'm bouncing on him, drop, drop, oh, boom. And it allows me to explode out. Go ahead and watch any YouTube video. Point fighters, they almost bounce on the same pace. You watch somebody break the rhythm, it allows for them to get an easy point. Go. 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 You watch somebody that does this. Hector does this. Hector is a fast fighter, but he breaks the rhythm so well that it makes him look a heck of a lot faster. Okay, and if you ever fought Hector, when he scores on you, it's almost as if he's scoring on you fast, but it's in slow motion. Like he's breaking the rhythm so well that he doesn't have. It's almost as if he doesn't have to try as hard to get the body punch because he's going at the correct time. It's very good timing. So when you drop and you break that person, make them do something stupid, or you catch them where they're off the ground and you're on the ground and able to drive. Those are the times there you go. Those are times people like Hector catch you with body punches. People like Elijah because he's so fast, right? Good. So, from here, I established my rhythm so well. I established my back fist. So we're going to go back to the beginning of the class. I established my back fist. I score my back fist a lot. That's my favorite technique. If you watch any of my point fighting fights, you'll see I score a lot of back fists, a lot of stepping back fists. And people understand that, and that's okay. If I don't score every single time, people know that that's my go-to technique, right? So something that I do pretty often, I call a Cali hop. So if I'm scoring these back fists all the time, I'm gonna give people the back. I'm gonna show the back fist and skip up. It's the only time I ever skip up a point fighting setting. I'll show the back fist and skip up and throw the kick, throw the side kick. Sometimes I throw a roundhouse kick, sometimes I throw an axie. But I'm gonna show the back fist, then skip up and throw a kick, okay? So in an adult division, the go-to technique, the go-to counter for a back fist is a defensive body punch, a stationary body punch, right? If you're scoring on somebody the whole fight, back body punch, you go back to the line. This time, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna show it, boom. Show the back fist. I'm gonna show the back fist, skip up, and throw that body punch. And that's a little high. Like 75% of the time, if I don't get the score, they cover up at the end. They'll show I'm gonna go for body punch. And I'll either catch them or I'll catch them on the glove. And while they're on the glove, my kick is still hitting them. I'm able to follow the body punch back fist or a back fist body punch. Okay, so like I said, even after the kick, I'm ready to throw something else. So I'm here. So people bite so hard on my back fist because of how often I score with it, and they respect it. Once you do something a lot, they have to respect that technique, regardless. So when they come here, it leaves an opening for the kick. Or if it doesn't and they cover up, I'm kicking them on the glove. I'm following off hard and fast, okay? So that is about 30 minutes already. So what I'm gonna tell you guys is, I'm very available if anyone has questions or would like to do private lessons with me. I'm very available. You can either private message me on Facebook or on Instagram at w.baileymurphy. And I soon, by the end of summer, to actually come out with my own point sparring program. So if you guys are interested in that as well, please message me. And thank you for joining in on my live. And power, baby.